All right. Well, I woke up, got out of bed. No. I woke up, had a chat with my son, and then immediately got on Facebook and just went on. I don't know, just what was on my mind. Call it a rant, I guess. And of course, it was voice texted, so it was all over the place. So we'll go through and correct it, but I might as well just go through and explain a lot of it. And I found the video, the Great Culling of Our Water official video, and I put it under the post, and I will put it under this video. It's an hour and 32 minutes long that details what that is they've been putting in your water supply. I mean, if you think that your government is looking out for you, that's impossible. And you've always known it. And I began the Democratic debates just to see the ridiculousness that they put out. Not that the other side's any better. So don't start that. Because the other guy, he's the guy that this whole world has been waiting for. He's the little horn of Daniel 7. And that's what my video was about last night. But, so Bernie Sanders was sitting there going, the pharmaceutical industry, these evil monsters of the pharmaceutical. He's telling you the truth. They're allowing him to tell you the truth. Just like when the little horn of Daniel 7 was telling you the truth about Hillary. They told you the truth about her. And y'all were like, let's lock her up. And they didn't lock her up. They laughed at you. He laughed at the way y'all got all excited. They're all laughing at you. Get out of the world. Get out of politics. Start learning the truth in God's Word. If you're a sheep. If you're not, stay in the world. Go about your business. You want to keep celebrating the Christ Mass, Christmas, or Easter, and all the pagan holidays, that's your business. The Lord has ordained you to be what you are. You're either a goat or you're a lost sheep. And if you're a lost sheep, I'm speaking to you through the Holy Spirit, calling you out of the world, come out of her, my people. That's how it works. And you will come out. If the Lord didn't call me in 2012, I would still be I would still be a master astrologer. I would be fine with my Catholicism. I mean, come out. Come out of the world. Valentine's Day? What is it? It's all about Satan. It's all about the Mother Goddess. It's all about Lucifer. It's all evil. It's all Catholic. Saint Valentine, Saint Nicholas, Easter Bunny fertility eggs. July 4th isn't what you think it is. That's about Sirius, the dog star. The dog days of summer. Nothing is what you think it is. This is a total Babylonian, pagan world you live in. It's just packaged with fake movie stars. And that's something I will not even speak to on here. I speak to you privately about, but if you're a guy, don't be so enamored with that actress. There's a pretty deep trick involved in a lot of that. So, as is the First Lady and the last First Lady we had, and other First Ladies. It's a trick. We'll just put it like that. Everything around you is paganized. Let's go ahead and read my post. Is that in the camera? I did notice that my camera was out of, sometimes some things weren't in the picture. I was so high on caffeine when I did my video. I'm not now, so I could be a little more, hopefully not sporadic. Some small items I left on my 2-hour video, and some of it is actually, and it's not small items, because this post ended up being a mile long. And I will make a new one tonight, and the new one will go on YouTube. This is just for Facebook. So this is not, this is probably going to be a daily video I do on Facebook, but I will do more in-depth about the Little Horn of Daniel 7, what the world is worshiping, what the evil that runs this world, Mystery Babylon, how it's all about the Mother Goddess. We'll cover Gnosticism. I'm not going to cover who your Gnostics are. I'm just going to cover Gnosticism in general. Everything's going to be on a world view. So, relax. But when I first started learning about these things in 2012, which that's when it happened. That's when the Lord, I was watching the Know Your Enemy series that I posted. It's 10.5 hours long, and it tells you about, it takes you from the Garden of Eden all the way through today's United Nations. You know, it just shows you everything. And it's 10.5 hours. And by part 23 of the Catholic Church, I realized why I was so enamored with astrology that I had learned at my Catholic Church, and got rid of Catholicism, and I got rid of astrology. Well, the Lord pulled me out of both. You do nothing on your own. Take no pride in nothing, which is a lot of what this post was about. One thing that stood out at those that run things, and I might as well go ahead and start editing this. Is that in the camera? Yeah. But when I started learning about these things in the year 2012, one thing that stood out was that those that run things, comma, want to get rid of the middle class. Yes, that was always something that I had heard. They want the upper, the very few, and then a tremendous lower class. The buzzword that they used on TV in sport, the buzzword, I should say, recently used. Oops. Such an idiot. Y'all know I'm stupid, right? I take no pride in nothing. Anything good that comes from me comes from the Lord, because I'm pretty much a third-degree idiot. Buzzword recently used. On TV, comma, especially in sports, comma, because you have to pay attention to what they're saying on ESPN and the NFL network. This was all voice texted, and I've already corrected a lot of it, and it's still jacked up. Because they, of course, are all part of this evil. And I kind of showed y'all that with their hand signals and so forth, with Tim Tebow and all of them. Don't trust Tim Tebow. I explained that in my video. He backed the movie The Shack, where Oprah was the Holy Spirit. I believe it was Oprah. They said the Holy Spirit was female. It all goes back to Sophia, the Mother Goddess, the Divine Feminine. That's what the people that run this world and your current leader, that's what they're all about. The Divine Feminine. The Sacred Feminine. Mother Nature. That's why you're seeing them save the planet, Earth Day. Remember in the 70s, the commercial, it's not nice to fool Mother Nature. Microphone's on the floor. which it probably sounds better when it's on the floor. Sorry. I'll try not to speak too loud, though, now that I got it up. Because they're all part of this evil, they've been using the word reset. I noticed that a lot because I had heard it because I follow a lot of truth community, truth telling, and you have to discern the truth. Yeah, I mean, I don't just believe everything I see. It's from the Holy Spirit, just like you learn the truth of what the Bible is. You learn the truth about what is going on in the world around you, and some of them will sit there and they'll be telling you the truth about what's going on in the world, but they don't, they believe in free will, they believe in churchianity. I do believe, hopefully, they are just lost sheep and they will be found going through the tribulation. The Great Tribulation. That's what's coming. It hasn't begun yet. But I think what they're doing now, again, Corona means crown, and they're crowning the little horn of Daniel 7, who is the rider on the white horse of Revelation 6, who receives a crown and then goes forth conquering and to conquer. The American people are being conquered right now, as you are being told you have no toilet paper, stay in your homes, do this, do that, do what we tell you. For safety reasons, of course, always for safety. You remember the Patriot Act, like we have to go be able to come into your cell phones, read your internet, do this, do that, because you could be a terrorist. Because look what they did to the Twin Towers. Terrorist. So it's weird though, it looked like a demolition to me. It just all, if a beam melted from jet fuel, that was already cooling because the smoke was turning white. But let's just say their narrative that the jet fuel was excruciatingly hot enough to melt a steel beam. Wouldn't that beam collapse? And you might see a floor give way to the floor below it, which is supported by steel. But everything just came down into powder. Twice. And then Tower 7 around the corner just fell upon itself like a demolition. I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling. But the evil that runs this world, and of course you can't get on ESPN or the NFL Network unless you join the system. And that system is about Lucifer and the Mother Goddess. They tell you that the God of this world was born of Sophia, the lowest of the eons. Who created the eons was the light, which was Lucifer. It's all about the light. It's Gnosticism. And that's the Gnostic view. That's the people that run this world. They see the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob of the Old Testament and New Testament as a tyrant, as somebody that came and screwed up this earth and really did a lousy job, and it's Lucifer is going to come and correct it, fix the lousy job that the true God of Abraham. In other words, what they're telling, what they believe, is that the true God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is an idiot, and that he thinks he's the only God, and they have fallen into this. What's happened is God has handed them over to the deception that Satan, Lucifer, is giving to them. They've been handed over to this belief. It's not their fault. It's just God is using them through Satan to bring about the biblical end times. This has already been written. This all has to take place. And this is how it takes place. You can't just have, but people go, oh, I believe in the Bible and I believe in Revelation. Or they'll say Revelations. And that's what I used to call it when I first started learning about it. So I'm making fun of myself. But they're waiting on this rapture. No, the rapture is after the total devastation of the Great Tribulation. Jesus comes to reclaim the earth. He comes in the clouds, and the dead in Christ rise first. All of what they tell you is a pre-trib rapture is actually a post-trib rapture. So you won't receive God's wrath if you're a sheep, but all that take the mark, of course, which will be most of the world. Remember, it's a narrow way and few find it. I mean, it's a long story. But they've been using this word reset on the NFL Network and on ESPN. Of course, you're constantly hearing about the word pride and proud and how many commercials on every single NFL player interview. That's all I've been hearing. And I told one of my good friends, I said, I'm noticing this word a lot lately. And, he didn't really pick up on it, and that's fine. But I had been noticing it, and there was one commercial on TV where the guy literally said pride and proud in the same sentence. I was like, okay, yeah, they're reading this. This is all scripted. I mean, they're purposefully making pride and being proud a big deal. And we're to take no pride in anything. Sheep take absolutely no pride in anything, because we all know that God has already declared the end from the beginning. So whatever you did on your own, God actually declared you would do on your own. It's not really on your own. God's declared it. Yeah, all things come from God. You lost your leg, God did it. You lost your mom and dad, God did it. You made yourself a self-made millionaire, God did it. Everybody's got a role to play. Your own salvation. Look at that. That's a good one, Stokes. You're good. Declaring the end from the beginning. So he's already declared the book of Revelation, the end times, from the beginning, Genesis. And from ancient times to the things that are not yet to see. Some things have not even taken place, but they've already been declared. We're just waiting for it to happen. Saying, my counsel shall stand, I will do my pleasure. And this God has created all of the evil. I form the light and create darkness. Is this in the... Yes. And create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. You read the book of Job. Satan had to ask permission from every single thing he was allowed to do to Job. The Lord hath made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. That's when the little horn of Daniel 7... And I already showed y'all how Mike Pompeo was overlooking the building of the third temple. So, should I show you that picture? Mike Pompeo overlooking the third temple. Figured if I repeated it, I would find it. How does that look on camera? That's him, second from the left. That's him right there. That's Mike Pompeo. They're overlooking the third temple where the Antichrist declares himself to be God. That's the wicked. So God has all these people that are in these nefarious organizations that believe in this Gnostic view of Sophia and the eons and the light and Lucifer and blah, blah, blah. God has handed them over to it so we can bring about these end times. You're basically all in a movie where God is the writer, director, producer, and he even came in a cameo appearance in the flesh. And that's what it is. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is God or is worshipped, so that he sitteth in the temple of God, which you just saw Mike Pompeo overlooking, showing himself that he is God. That's what's coming. Did you know Donald Trump is on a coin over there in Israel? Yeah. They renamed the Golan Heights Trump Heights. Yeah. You know what's weird is the little horn of Daniel 7 has 5 Bible verses that describe how he's going to wear out the saints. 7:21 through 25, and Trump Tower has 5 multiple addresses. 7:21 through 7:25. I digress. I'm sorry. There's other Bible verses that also in Daniel 7 described a horn as a trump and a trump as a horn, by the way. And Jesus said, I come in my Father's name and ye believe me not. But if one comes in his own name, he's here in his own name. Trump, horn, horn, trump. A horn is a trump and a trump is a horn. I consider the horns, behold, blah, 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 blah. The first of the horns are root up. Behold, in his horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and mouth speaking great things. He's going to make America great again. Yeah, he's nonstop great things. You know, how can you not love him? I mean, he's just great. He's going to make you great, and the country great, and everything's great, and everybody's great. Isn't it great? I beheld them because of the voice of the great words in which the horn, trump, trump, horn. A horn is a trump and a trump is a horn in the King James. Remember the Bible verse at the last trump, talking about when the last horn blows? He's come in his own name. I beheld then the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain and his body destroyed and given. That's what Jesus, of course, comes at the end. I think the other is 20 of the 10 horns. Even of the horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things. We're going to move the capital of Israel back to Jerusalem. It's nonstop great things. This guy is just great. Is he not great? He's amazing, this guy. This horn, this trump, whose look was more stout than his fellows. Yeah, he's no midget, is he? But here's the address of Trump Tower, 7:21 through 7:25. And I beheld the same horn made war with the saints. That's coming. As soon as the 5G gets installed and they do this reset where they really clamp down, you'll be living in a police state sooner than later. Even if things temporarily get back to normal, things are going to change again. This would just be a tremor. Or this is the beginning of the end now. I'm not real sure. I don't have all the answers, and I don't want to pretend to. I'm just telling you what the Lord has shown me, period. and prevailed against them. Yes, he will be wearing out the saints, which are the sheep. Until the Ancient of Days came, the judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Yes. So Jesus will come and reclaim the earth and put Israel back, because Israel right now is in a bad situation. Our country's been giving them billions to get all ready for the end times. And nobody realizes it. And your pulpits have been telling you, we got to protect Israel, we got to do this. No. They're using Old Testament Bible verse. They're mixing the truth. They're really good at that. They're slick. Slick willies. Slick willies. Yeah. I'm always waiting on that knock on the door. Get framed, arrested. Yep. We got to shut him up. When they do begin martial law when things get really bad, they'll come get me. It won't be pretty. It's all 12 of the apostles, at least 11 that they know of, but they suspect John too, but they were all killed, all thrown in jail. Paul wrote a lot of his letters in jail. You tell the truth, they don't like it. They don't want the truth to be told. And I'm sure they've already got a nice little plan for me when the time comes. Can't wait. Anyway, let's get back on topic. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all the kingdoms. That's what's coming. It'll be a world-ruling system, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. That's what's coming. Within the next 2 or 3 years, guaranteed, under the little horn's reign. And the 10 horns, I'm right here. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise. Did you know they already have 10 sections? The 10 sections the earth will be divided into. Earth divided in 10 zones to equal population. Big think. Mapped world divided to 4. Let me see. Well, you know what? Just go back. That's not it. I wonder, I've seen this map before. And the 10. I don't know if we're going to have it here. But they've already got everything divided up already, the United Nations and all that. But I should have done that ahead of time. Found that for you. He shall be diverse from the first, and the 10 kings shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. So they'll still be battling back and forth. And he shall speak great words against the Most High. This is when the abomination that causes desolation take place. And shall wear out the saints. That's why his address begins with 21 through 25, because 21 begins with made war with the saints and prevailed against them, and 25 again shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and to think to change times and laws. And they shall be given unto his hand until the time and times and the dividing of time. So it's about a 2.5 year period where all of this will be taking place. And has that 2.5 year period has it begun now? Or is it still coming? So we don't know, but this is all in Matthew 24. When ye therefore see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place. See, they're building that third temple right now. Well, they're not building it now, but they can build it very quickly. He's a builder, remember? Wrote the book Art of the Deal, and of course Um, our current president just got through confirming a covenant with many. It's a 40-year-old covenant that really, it's a Middle East peace plan. He wrote the book Art of the Deal. Remember, I was talking about all this back in 2016 when he was getting elected. He had fooled me many times, but the Lord kept putting it in my heart, no, and then I finally saw something to where I knew I had been duped. Because they really made you think that he was different. They were really good at that. I mean, it's a strong delusion. I mean, anyway, when that takes place, in the midst of the week shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation and determined shall be poured upon the desolate. That's some tough reading. New Living Translation. Let's read it in a little clearer. The ruler will make a treaty with people for a period of 7, but after half this time, well, that treaty's already been confirmed. It was confirmed a few months ago. Trump Middle East peace plan. Trump Middle East peace plan. Plagiarized a 40-year-old. Says right there, plagiarized. So he's just confirming an old covenant's what he did. What you need to know about Trump's Middle East peace plan, New York Times. So when did it take place? It says January 29th. So 2.5 years from now. This is when... But after this time, he will put an end to the sacrifice. A period of 7, but after half this time, so 2.5 years from now. So if it began in January of 2020, so it's 21, 22, about July of 2022 is when he will stand in the holy place, declare himself to be God. So that's what we're looking for. Next is them building this temple over there. And I don't know if they'll even allow that to be on the internet. I mean, they're going to start tightening down all controls. Will you even know it's taking place? Until one day, they make sure everybody's watching. The whole world will be watching on their computers, their iPads, their streaming system. And he'll declare himself to be God in that temple. And he will speak very poorly about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that I declare. And at that point, let them which be in Judea flee to the mountains. Let him which is on a house. I mean, that's when all the calamity will take place, about in the middle of 2022. All hell's going to break loose. For then shall be great tribulation. There ain't going to be no rapture before this. There ain't nothing about, well, I'm going to come. Is there anything in here between the abomination and, well, I'm going to come and remove y'all first. No. You fell for that lie in your church? The same church that's still celebrating the Christ Mass, a pagan holiday? And Easter, a pagan holiday? Come on, man. Come out of her, my people. Wasn't that in my post also? Come out of her, my people. For there shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, nor shall ever be. I mean, this is it. About the middle of 2022. And now we go to verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. We're talking about the flesh of the sheep. But for the elect's sake, that's his sheep. They're elected, they're selected, they're predestinated. I teach that on my YouTube channel. Those days shall be shortened. And if any man come to you and say, Lo, here is the Christ, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and show great signs and wonders. What type of great signs and wonders? And he doeth, this will either be the false prophet, I'm pretty sure it's the false prophet. And behold, another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spoke like a dragon. He exercised power over the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell on therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So somebody might get shot. That's okay. He'll be healed miraculously. And doeth great wonders, so that he maketh, because he's either got a twin or a clone. That's why. That's very involved, but I'm seeing that and learning about that on a lot of different channels. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of man, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by the sword and did live. So somebody's liable to get shot, right? Anything and everything has already been declared, and the end times already been written. This is about not taking any pride in anything. Your own salvation, or lack thereof, was declared at the beginning of time, at the foundation of the world, as the Bible puts it. And yes, obviously, we know this is not taught. Again, you have to forget everything you've been mistaught and start from the beginning in truth. We don't know today who is a lost sheep or is a goat. The most sinful person, you know, comma, simply may be a lost sheep. At some point in their life, they will turn if they are a lost sheep. The Lord loses not one of his sheep. Voice texting. They eventually will hear his voice. They will hear the calling. They will be turned. Saying to Jeremiah, this is chapter 5, so, no, it's verse 5 in Jeremiah 1, I'm sorry. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. See, God either knew you from the beginning, or he's never known you. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. And I get into those Bible verses, It's in Matthew 7, 21 through 23. Where he says, Not everyone that says to me, Lord, Lord, didn't we do many wonderful works in your name and cast out many devils? And he will say unto them, I never knew you. Then in Romans 29 he says, For those he did foreknow at the foundation of the world, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, to be firstborn among many brethren. For those he did predestinate, them he also called, and those that he called he also justified, and those he justified he also glorified. Everything's been preordained, folks. That's what grace is. It's add none of your works, lest you boast. So this may be a reset. Take no pride in anything. You've been living in Babylon since the day you were born. The whole world is Babylon. You have an Egyptian obelisk from Egypt, transplanted from Egypt, facing the dome at St. Peter. You have an obelisk facing a dome at Washington, D.C. Both are city-states. Washington, D.C. sits on land that was once called Rome, Maryland. Washington, D.C. sits between Virginia and Maryland. Virginia and Maryland stands for Virgin Mary Land, which is the Mother Goddess, which is Mother Nature. That's why you have Earth Day. Take care of nature. The Georgia Guidestones. The Georgia Guidestones.
According to Wikipedia, the Georgia Guidestones are a granite monument erected in 1980 in Elbert County, Georgia, in the United States.
Right after I graduated from high school, days later, this guy walked in. There's a really good, one of these sites is a really good site. They might have removed it, but it really showed you, kind of gave you the whole story. I don't see it on there anymore. That's it, Radio Liberty. It's out of your picture. Let's move your picture. Maintain humanity under 500 million. That's half a billion. We're approaching 9 billion. That's how much they say they need to wipe out. Guide reproduction wisely, improving fitness and diversity. China's just been a testing zone to see what they're going to do to the whole world. Unite humanity with a living new language. Rule passion, faith. This is in the state of Georgia, by the way. A lot of Satanists and Luciferians go there and perform rituals. Rule passion, faith, tradition, all things with tempered reason. Protect people, nations with fair laws and just courts. Yeah. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. Yes, it'll be a world system. Avoid petty laws and useless officials. Balance personal rights with social duties. Prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite, with the mother goddess, with the sacred feminine, with the divine feminine. Be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. So notice the first commandment and last commandment are all about nature, Mother Nature, Earth Day. Take care of the earth. It's always been. Everything around you's always been what's coming. The whole world is Babylon. Everything around you is theater and always has been. Very much controlled. Your television has always been telling you a vision. The programming has been programming you. Fake science is called scientism. I can send you a lot of stuff on that if you want to see it. Just message me, ask me. Much of your history has been altered or the full truth not given since your birth. You have been on a need-to-know basis. On a need-to-know basis. Did I write that properly? By the way, take this vaccine. Make sure your kids are vaccinated. We are the unhealthiest country in the world. We put chemical we call fluoride. That's what this video is for. I'll put it underneath this video and I'll post it underneath my Facebook post. Already did. I just posted this. Okay, I just posted this. But I will post it under what I'm correcting. Already did. Okay. It totally compromises your thyroid because it's not real sodium fluoride. It's a word as long as this Facebook post. Compromise your thyroid and many other things. That's why people have bad thyroids. A lot of people have their thyroids removed. They get thyroid cancer. We didn't bat an eye when they started genetically modifying our food. We just trusted everything, didn't we? We always trust everything. We trust the preacher that's sitting up there, even though he might be a nefarious character in disguise. I said might. He might be just innocently thinking he's doing the right thing. But I've watched a lot of them, and they're con artists. And they give themselves away. Literally taking the seed God gave and putting a Frankenstein movement on the seed. Altering. And then growing it and telling you to eat it. Making processed sugar extremely popular. I don't know a kid that isn't fed sugar. Hey, it's your birthday. I don't even celebrate birthday. The Lord called me out of this world, even to the point to where I took my birthday off my Facebook. I don't care about I'm 58 and 3/4 years old. It wasn't out of vanity. I don't want people saying happy birthday to me on Facebook anymore. I don't say happy birthday anymore to anybody. If it's a social situation, I'll say, hey, enjoy your evening, enjoy your time with friends and family. Hey, I hope you have fun. But that's all paganism. It's all about you. It's all about yourself, universe. It's all about you. Get in touch with you. Most of the wine you drink is loaded. Let me see. When I got off processed sugar and gluten, my health greatly went on the upswing. Most of the wine you drink is loaded with pesticides. We have one of them pretending to run for president, telling you, what was this? I just said his name. Bernie. One of them telling you about the evil pharmaceutical industry is just a joke. Because it is. Nothing will be changed. If you notice, when candidates run against each other, they tell you the truth many times, not all the truth, and or they tell you the truth about the other person. One went so far as to say, "We will lock her up." And everybody cheered. And they just knew that you had been handed over to them for that. Couldn't believe it. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. I mean, they know who they're talking to. The lost. They're either talking to lost sheep or goats. And I don't know which one you are, so don't take offense. Hopefully you're just a lost sheep and you're going to be found. Knowing, of course, they're on the same squad, and I think I showed that picture, didn't I? He went to her wedding. No, I mean, she went to his wedding, to his third wife. I mean, they're on the same squad. They're on the same squad. Apple Computer's first logo. Man, knowledge, Lucifer. Gave man knowledge that the evil god, the demiurge they call him, the demiurge. That's what they call him, the demiurge in Gnosticism. They're playing to your pride. You know, national pride, family pride, racial pride, no matter what your pride. They're always stirring you up, divide and conquer, pitting one against itself. Hollywood's constantly making movies like 12 Years a Slave and this and that. These people are the ones that created the racism. I'm not going to get into that. That'll get me in big trouble fast. See, I'm not saying everything. Trying to stay in between some lines there, fellas. And if things get back to normal, would you slide back into your complete and total sense of self? That's what you do. It's the daily cross. It's the blood baptism. So anyway, this is running long. Read the rest of it on your own, my Facebook post. And God did not love everybody in the Old Testament, and he clearly does not love everybody in the New Testament. Matthew 5:24, he clearly states he only came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. True. So anyway, save it. I don't know if it's all been corrected. But I guess this will be, I'll probably put this to YouTube also. So I had a lot of good stuff in there. And by the way, we'll close with the unicorn stands for the Antichrist. Have you ever noticed that unicorns have been all over? The rider on the white horse is the little horn of Daniel 7. So what they do, they took a white horse and put a horn on him. And it's got angel wings. You starting to get the picture? Satanic unicorns. You know, they throw kids into unicorns, you know, and all these kids love unicorns. They're just being attracted to these unicorns like I was attracted to astrology. I mean, but unicorns represent the Antichrist. Book covers of 2 Harry Potter books display. I mean, Harry Potter is just their world told in a children's form. It's pretty crazy. I don't know. It gave me nothing. Anyway, I'll do another video after this. Not too long. Hopefully it'll only take 3 hours to upload, since it's about an hour long. And because the other one took over 6 hours to load, and it was only 2 hours long. So, alright. Love y'all.